The dark fleet of the Drathkar loomed large above Xyara's sky. Thousands of ships, bigger and more powerful than before, filled the horizon. The people of Xyara held their breath. This was the moment they had feared, the final battle for their planet. Queen Lysera stood tall on the palace balcony, her silver skin glowing in the soft light of Xylara's twin moons. Beside her stood Ethan, the human she had chosen to marry, the man many once called a simple human. But now, he was something more, a symbol of hope and strength. "We cannot let fear rule us," Lysera said quietly. "Today we fight not just for survival, but for the future of all who call this planet home." Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "Our strength is in unity. Together, we are unstoppable." The army assembled below was unlike any Xylara had ever seen. Xylaran warriors armed with new weapons, flying drones buzzing above, and soldiers trained in the tactics Ethan had introduced. Allies from neighboring planets had joined the fight, bringing their own ships and soldiers. The battle began as the Drathkar ships fired massive energy beams, lighting up the sky with flashes of blue and red. Xylara's defenses held strong, powered by the new technology Ethan and Vera had helped create. Energy shields shimmered, blocking many attacks. Ethan led a squadron of fighters, his eyes sharp as he piloted his ship through the chaos. His movements were swift and precise, faster than anyone else, guided by his enhanced training and strength. Below, Lysera commanded the ground forces. She moved gracefully yet powerfully, inspiring her people with every step. When Drathkar soldiers landed, she met them with fierce determination. The fighting was brutal. Many soldiers fell on both sides. Explosions shook the land. Yet the defenders of Xylara held their ground. At one point, Ethan's ship was hit and began to lose control. He crashed near the front lines but quickly recovered. Without hesitation, he joined the ground battle, his glowing hands a blur as he fought. The enemy was strong, but Ethan was stronger. His power was more than human, enhanced by Earth technology and his own will. He moved like lightning, taking down enemies one after another. The Drathkar warlord Varnak appeared on the battlefield, towering over others with his armor and weapons. He challenged Ethan directly. The two fought fiercely, energy crackling with each strike. Varnak was a formidable opponent, but Ethan's determination was greater. Using a clever move taught by Lysera, Ethan disarmed Varnak and knocked him to the ground. With Varnak defeated, the enemy soldiers lost heart. Many surrendered or fled. The defenders cheered. Xylara had won. The victory was hard-earned, but sweet. In the days that followed, the people of Xylara rebuilt their world. The damage from the war was great, but the spirit of the people was stronger. Ethan and Lysera worked side by side, leading the recovery efforts. They welcomed new allies and strengthened ties across the galaxy. The alien nobles who once doubted Ethan now respected him deeply. His bravery and leadership had saved their world. One evening, under the bright stars, Lysera and Ethan stood hand in hand. "You showed the galaxy the true power of a human," Lysera said softly. Ethan smiled. "It was never just me. It was all of us, humans and Xylarans together." Their story spread across the stars, inspiring others to believe in unity and strength beyond differences. Xylara entered a new era of peace and cooperation, with Lysera and Ethan leading the way. The alien queen had indeed wed a common human, but he was no longer common. He was a hero, a partner, and a symbol of hope, and together they were ready for whatever the future held. Marcus Kane stood quietly in the grand hall of Xyra IX's palace. Around him, the alien court moved like a living, shimmering river. Bright colors, strange shapes, and the buzz of many languages filled the air. To an outsider, the palace was a place of power, filled with secrets and old traditions. To Marcus, it was a new home, but one that felt strange and full of hidden eyes watching him. Queen Thalnira had made her choice. She had married this simple man, the human ambassador, hoping to build peace between her people and the humans. But Marcus was not as simple as she thought. The days after the wedding were full of ceremonies and parties. Delegates from all over the galaxy came to celebrate the new alliance. Marcus listened carefully to every conversation, but he spoke very little. His quietness made some court members suspicious. Was he hiding something? Was he weak, or was he stronger than he looked? At first, Thalnira believed Marcus was just shy, but soon she noticed something strange. He seemed to understand things faster than anyone else. When a discussion about the Empire's trade routes became heated, Marcus calmly pointed out problems no one had seen. His words were simple but smart. "Why do we send all ships through the same narrow path?" he asked. "If enemies know this route, they can attack us easily. We should use many paths, even if some are longer." The Queen nodded slowly. His idea was clever, but the court murmured. Some respected him, others doubted. Marcus spent hours walking the palace gardens alone. The plants were alien and beautiful, with glowing flowers and leaves that shimmered under the twin suns. Sometimes he spoke softly to himself in his own language, a habit from his old life. Guards saw this and whispered that Marcus was strange, even dangerous. One evening, Thalnira found him standing by a quiet pond. The water reflected his calm face. "Marcus," she said gently, "do you miss Earth?" He looked at her and smiled faintly. "Sometimes, but this is important. For all of us." The Queen was surprised by his calm strength. He was more than a simple man. While Marcus lived quietly, shadows moved in the palace. A group of alien nobles did not want peace with humans. They saw the marriage as a threat to their power. They whispered secrets, made plans in dark rooms, and tried to turn the Queen's trusted advisors against Marcus. One of these nobles was Lord Varek, a tall, thin man with sharp eyes. He watched Marcus from the shadows, waiting for a chance to prove. "The man was a fraud. Humans are weak," Varek told a group of nobles. "They cannot rule. The Queen is blind." But not everyone agreed. Some courtiers admired Marcus's calm mind and steady courage. In the weeks that followed, Marcus met with many leaders. He studied their cultures and problems, learning fast. He showed respect for alien customs, but also shared human ideas. Slowly, he won respect. One day, a young alien girl approached Marcus in the garden. She looked nervous but smiled. "You are not what we expected," she said. "We thought humans were only fighters or traders. But you think." Marcus smiled warmly. "I am just a man trying to help." The girl nodded. "Maybe you are the hope we need." But not all hope was safe. One night, Marcus overheard voices in the corridor. He quietly followed and saw Lord Varek meeting with strangers, shadowy figures. From a rival planet, known for their hatred of humans, they spoke in low tones. "The Queen's new husband is a spy," Varek said. "We must remove him before he destroys us." Marcus felt a chill. The peace was fragile. The dangers were real. The next morning, Marcus told the Queen what he had heard. Thalnira's face was hard. "We must protect the Alliance and the people." "But I will protect you too, Marcus." Together, they began planning how to stop the threat. Marcus asked for trusted guards and spies. He wanted to understand the enemy before they struck. The Queen watched him carefully. This man, who seemed so simple, had the mind of a leader. Days turned into weeks. Marcus trained with the palace guards in secret. He learned alien fighting styles and taught some of his own. Though he was calm and gentle, there was fire in his eyes, a fire that warned others not to underestimate him. At the same time, He met with his own secret contacts from Earth, people who had sent him here. They warned him that the threat was bigger than Xyara 9. It was a war waiting to explode. Marcus's quiet strength gave the Queen new hope. She began to see him not just as her husband, but as a protector of their future. One evening, during a quiet dinner, the Queen asked Marcus, "Why did you come here? Why take this risk?" He looked at her, his voice steady. "Because I believe humans and aliens can be stronger together. Because sometimes the simplest man can change the fate of many." Thalnira smiled, but her eyes held a new respect and a hint of worry. What exactly had she married? That night, as the twin moons rose over Xyara 9, Marcus stood on the palace balcony, looking out at the stars. The galaxy was wide and dangerous, but he felt ready. The veil of simplicity was lifting. The true battle had yet to begin. The grand palace of Xyara 9, once a place of peace and celebration, had grown tense. Whispers floated through the marble halls like ghosts, and every glance seemed to hide suspicion. Queen Thalnira sat on her throne, her bright eyes scanning the faces of her advisors. The recent events had shaken her deeply. Marcus Kane, the man she had married just weeks ago, was no longer just a quiet ambassador. He had become a figure of mystery and power. Rumors had spread across the palace like wildfire. Some said he was a spy. Others said he was a warrior from a secret order. The truth, however, was far more complicated. The day had begun with a chill in the air. A meeting was called in the throne room, a gathering of the most trusted leaders from across the empire. They were to discuss the recent assassination attempt on the Queen's life. The palace guards had stopped the attack, but no one knew who had sent the assassins. As the leaders took their seats, Marcus stood silently near the Queen. His presence was calm, but commanding. The room was heavy with tension. Lord Varek, the thin man with sharp eyes and cold words, spoke first. His voice was low but clear. "This attack proves what I have long said. The alliance with humans is a mistake. We cannot trust one of them. In our palace." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. Many nobles feared the growing influence of humans. Thalnira's voice cut through the noise. "Enough. We will not be divided by fear." She looked at Marcus. "What do you think?" Marcus stepped forward. His voice was steady, even gentle. The attackers were skilled, but their plan was sloppy. They wanted to kill without warning. Someone inside helped them. We must find the traitor. The room fell silent. The truth was clear. The enemy was closer than anyone thought. Marcus began his investigation quietly. He met with the palace guards, questioned servants, and watched the courtiers. Slowly, he pieced together clues others missed. His human eyes noticed small details: a missing guard's badge, a secret message hidden in a flower arrangement, footsteps that did not belong. While Marcus worked, the Queen watched him carefully. She felt a mixture of admiration and fear. This man was no ordinary husband. He had skills she did not understand. But could she trust him fully? One afternoon, as Marcus walked through the palace corridors, a shadow flickered at the edge of his vision. He followed silently and found Lord Varek speaking with a strange figure, a cloaked alien from the distant Andron system, known for ruthless mercenaries. "They underestimate us," Varek hissed. "Once Marcus is gone, the Queen will be ours to control." Marcus stepped out of the shadows, his calm voice firm. "You have made a grave mistake, Lord Varek." The cloaked alien turned, hand on a weapon, but Marcus did not reach for his own. Instead, he smiled coldly. "Violence here will bring ruin." "You should leave." Varek's eyes narrowed. "This is not over." Marcus returned to the Queen and told her what he had seen. Together, they planned a secret meeting with the palace's best spies. They needed to uncover the full plot before. It was too late. The spies reported strange shipments arriving at the docks, weapons, poisons, and strange devices. Someone in the palace was selling secrets to enemies outside the empire. That night, the Queen and Marcus stood on the balcony, watching the stars. Thalnira's voice was soft, but strong. I believed you were a simple man. Now, I see you carry a sword hidden beneath your calm. Marcus looked at her, eyes steady. Sometimes, the sword is not just metal. It is knowledge, patience, and courage. The Queen smiled sadly. I am glad you are by my side. Suddenly, the palace alarm sounded, a loud, harsh warning. Guards rushed past them, shouting, "An attack! The traitor has made their move!" Marcus drew his sword, not the shining energy blade he had hidden since arrival, but a simple metal blade. It was old but strong, a symbol of his past. He stepped forward, ready to protect the Queen and the Empire. The attack came quickly, shadowy. Figures burst into the throne room, armed with strange weapons that glowed with dark energy. The palace guards fought bravely, but the attackers were skilled and numerous. Marcus moved like lightning. His sword flashed, cutting through the dark figures with precision and speed. Each movement was practiced, deadly and graceful. The court watched in shock as the quiet human became a whirlwind of power. Queen Thalnira stood behind him, her heart pounding. The man she married was not just a diplomat. He was a warrior unlike any she had seen. As the battle raged, Marcus spotted Lord Varric among the attackers, wielding a poisoned blade. The two men faced each other, eyes locked in hatred. You betrayed your people for power, Marcus said. Varric sneered. You think you can stop me, human? With a roar, Varric lunged forward. Marcus met him blade to blade. The clash echoed through the hall. The fight was fierce. Varric was quick and skilled, but Marcus was stronger. Years of secret training, battles fought in distant stars, and a will to protect fueled him. Slowly, Marcus pushed Varric back. Finally, with a powerful strike, Marcus disarmed the traitor. Varric fell to his knees, defeated but alive. The attackers fled, their plan ruined. The palace was safe, for now. Queen Thalnira stepped forward, placing her hand on Marcus's shoulder. You have saved us all. Marcus sheathed his sword, breathing hard. We must remain vigilant. This is only the beginning. In the days after the attack, the Queen called a council. She announced new laws to strengthen the alliance between humans and Xyara 9. She praised Marcus openly, showing the court that the human was not just her husband, but her protector and partner. Some nobles grumbled, but many saw the truth. The galaxy was changing. Strength came in many forms, and humans were part of that strength. Marcus and Thalnira grew closer. The Queen learned more about Marcus's past, a secret warrior order that fought to keep peace in the galaxy, using both sword and mind. She understood now why he had come to her planet, why he had hidden his true nature. He was a guardian, a man ready to fight for what was right. The palace was quiet once again, but Marcus knew the shadows had not disappeared. The enemies who sought to destroy peace were still out there, waiting for their chance. But the Queen and her simple husband were ready. Together, they would face whatever came next. The sun rose over Xyara 9, its twin light bathing the palace in gold. But inside the grand halls, a storm was brewing. Queen Thalnira sat at her throne, her face calm, but her mind heavy. The attack had been a warning. The enemies were stronger than anyone guessed. Marcus Kane stood beside her, sword sheathed but ready. His quiet strength was the anchor the Queen needed. We cannot wait, Marcus said. They will strike again, with more force. Thalnira nodded. Then we must prepare. Show me your sword. Marcus took a deep breath. Slowly, he drew the blade from its hidden sheath. It was unlike any weapon the court had seen before. The sword glowed with a soft blue light, humming with energy. Ancient symbols shimmered along the blade, telling stories of battles long past. "This sword," Marcus said quietly, "was forged centuries ago by humans. It is more than a weapon. It holds the power to protect and to destroy." The court gasped. Many had never seen such a weapon before. Some bowed their heads in respect, others in fear. Training began at once. Marcus gathered the palace guards, warriors from Xyara 9, and began teaching them how to fight differently. He combined human techniques with the alien fighting styles, blending strength, speed, and strategy. At first, the guards struggled. They were proud of their traditional ways and doubted Marcus's methods. But his calm confidence and skill slowly won them over. One of the best fighters was Xyara, a young woman with fierce eyes and quick reflexes. She was curious about Marcus and eager to learn. "You fight well, Marcus," she said during training. "But your sword, it feels alive." Marcus smiled. "It holds the spirit of those who wielded it before me. It teaches as much as I do." Xyara nodded, practicing a strike. "Then teach me." Outside the palace, dark clouds gathered. Scouts reported large fleets moving toward Xyara 9, enemies from the ancient alien empire known for cruelty and destruction. They had come to punish the queen for her alliance with humans. Marcus and Thalnira stood together, watching the approaching threat. "We must unite the people," Thalnira said. "Prepare for battle." The palace transformed into a fortress. Walls were strengthened, weapons distributed, and soldiers trained. Marcus moved among the troops, inspiring them with quiet words and fierce determination. The queen rode beside him, dressed in armor that gleamed like starlight. Together they were a symbol of hope. The enemy fleet arrived with a roar. Dark ships blotted out the sky, weapons ready to fire. The people of Xyara 9 braced for war. The first strike came swiftly. Explosions rocked the palace walls. The defenders fought back with energy blasts and sword strikes. Marcus stood at the front line, sword glowing bright. His moves were precise and deadly. Each swing of the blade cut through enemy armor, sending foes tumbling. During the chaos, Marcus spotted a group of enemy commanders trying to breach the palace's inner sanctum, the Queen's chamber. Without hesitation, he rushed toward them, sword flashing like lightning. The commanders were fierce, but Marcus was stronger. With a powerful strike, he sent them retreating. The Queen watched in awe. This simple man was a hero. But the battle was not over. A massive enemy ship hovered above the palace, preparing to fire a devastating weapon, a pulse that could destroy everything. Marcus called out to the guards. "We must stop that ship." He led a small group to the palace roof, where ships and energy cannons stood ready. Using his sword, Marcus activated the energy cannons. The weapon's power flowed through his blade, amplifying the fire. With precise aim, they struck the enemy. "Ship!" The ship shook, engines failing. Suddenly, a blast hit Marcus's side. He stumbled but kept his grip. The enemy captain appeared, wielding a weapon of pure energy. "You cannot win, human," the captain sneered. Marcus raised his sword, energy humming. "This fight is not over," Marcus said. The two clashed, sword against energy weapon. Sparks flew, the air crackling with power. The battle was fierce. Marcus felt every strike, every parry. His strength was tested like never before, but the sword gave him power, the power of those who had fought before him, the power of hope. With a final strike, Marcus shattered the enemy's weapon and sent the captain falling. The enemy fleet began to retreat. The people of Xyara 9 cheered. Their home was saved. After the battle, Marcus stood with Queen Thalnira on the palace balcony. "You are more than I imagined," she said softly. Marcus smiled. "And you are stronger than I expected." Together they looked out at the stars, ready for whatever came next. The war was over. The stars above Xyara 9 shone brighter than ever, reflecting the hope now blooming across the planet. The people celebrated their victory, but Queen Thalnira and Marcus Kane knew the fight had changed them forever. The quiet man she once thought simple had revealed a strength that would shape the future of two worlds. In the royal chamber, the queen sat on her throne, draped in her ceremonial robes. The scars from battle were fading, but her gaze was sharp and steady. Marcus stood beside her, the energy sword resting on the floor, silent but ready. "Marcus," Thalnira began, "you have saved my people and changed the course of history. But what now? What will become of us?" Marcus looked out the window, eyes fixed on the horizon. "Now we build, not just a peace, but a future where our worlds stand together." The queen smiled. "A future where humans and aliens are not enemies but allies." The alliance between humans and Xyara 9 grew stronger. Trade routes flourished, knowledge was shared, and old prejudices slowly faded. Marcus became not only the queen's husband, but a leader respected across the galaxy. He traveled to distant worlds, carrying the message of unity and strength. One day, Marcus received a message from Earth. His order needed him back. A new threat was rising, one that could endanger not just Xyara 9, but the entire galaxy. He shared the news with the queen. "Your people will need a leader," Marcus said. Thalnira nodded. "And you will always have a home here." Before he left, Marcus trained a new generation of warriors on Xyara 9. Kira, his favorite student, stood beside him, eager and ready. "You taught me to fight," she said. "Now I will protect our people." Marcus smiled. "And you will carry the sword well." As Marcus prepared to leave, the queen held his hand. "Be careful." He nodded. "I will return. Our story is just beginning." With that, Marcus boarded a sleek starship, disappearing into the stars. Back on Xyara 9, the queen stood on her balcony looking at the twin moons. The kingdom was safe, but the galaxy was still full of dangers. She whispered, "Thank you, Marcus, for everything." Far away, Marcus traveled to new worlds, ready to face new battles. The sword he carried was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of hope, courage, and unity, and the simple man who once drew it would become a legend across the stars.